What's good? What's good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of The Urban Platform Speaks. Make sure to like and subscribe as you tune into the channel and check out the content. And with that being said, man, I want to speak on Shannon Sharpe's reaction to Ron Harper, his comments about, I don't know if you could just say comment or insult as far as like what LeBron James is concerned. So now my thing on, I really didn't have a problem with what Ron Harper said about LeBron James. I don't think it was really necessary, but he said it, and like I said in videos before this, as long as Ron Harper, don't mind taking the backlash that come along with, letting people know what he think about LeBron James publicly, then it's all good. I mean, I just think that that's it just comes with the territory. Now, Ron Harper, man, in my opinion, like Ron Harper was one of my favorite basketball players, early in his career, especially when he used to go back and forth with Michael Jordan when he played with the Cleveland Cavaliers, right? And so, like I said, I don't really have a problem with Ron Harper when that's concerned. But now some people are saying that Shannon Sharpe calling out Ron Harper for this is almost like, the pot calling the pot calling the kettle black, right? And so, because a lot of people say that Shannon Sharpe is also messy, just like Ron Harper. And so for him to call out Ron Harper for being messy and stuff like that, I think it's what some people are saying that that's like the pot calling the kettle black. So it is what it is. Let me see. I got something going on right here real quick. So what I'm gonna do is go ahead and play what Shannon Sharpe and Ocho and Joe Johnson had to say about this Ron Harper situation.
Ron Harper was asked whether he envisioned his son following his footsteps and playing in the NBA. Let's take a listen to what he had to say.
This a vision you had?
I'm not LeBron James. I'm not going to tell my kids what they have to do. I just want them to play, enjoy the game, and whatever they can get back out the ball game, we will take it.
Now, all right, so he said he's not going to tell his sons what to do, but I will say that, like, in my opinion, Ron Harper is no different than LeBron James. He had two sons. He wanted both his sons to play in the league, which is nothing wrong with that, right? And so he trained his sons, and he taught them how to play basketball, and he guided them through the process of, AAU, high school, and college. So he was there with them and gave them guidance the same way LeBron James did. So he's really, in my opinion, no different than LeBron James. But let's continue, because I want to react to what Shannon Sharpe and his co-host had to say about it.
Once upon a time, I told him whatever opportunity that you have, you should have a chance to play in the NBA.
You see that, Ocho?
Yeah.
Now,
that's unnecessary.
LeBron has already said that, look, I want him to do whatever he wants to do. He ain't got to do nothing if he doesn't want to. He can be the CEO of my company. Nobody asked him that. So now LeBron told his kids, y'all got to play in the NBA. Even though they know it's an uphill battle, because no matter what, you're going to get compared to your dad.
Your dad,
Absolutely. Your dad is historically, your dad is transcendently great. Yeah.
Yeah. That's messed up. It's unfortunate.
It's easier, Ron, do you realize it's easier for your kids to make it in the NBA than LeBron's?
Mm-hmm.
Because we've never seen, think about it. Ken Griffey's dad was a good player. He wasn't Junior. Mm-hmm. Bobby Bonds was a good player.
He wasn't
Barry.
No.
So Kareem got sons. Michael got sons. Name a historically great player that the kid was also historically great.
But see, that's not the point that Ron Harper is trying to make, right? And also, a lot of people don't think that LeBron James' sons are qualified to be in the NBA. People are not saying that about Scottie Pippen's son. They're not saying that about Gary Payton Jr. They're not saying that about Ron Harper's two sons, right? They're saying that the only reason why LeBron James' son is in the league because of LeBron. Because if you look at his skill set don't say NBA basketball player. So Shannon Sharpe is kind of, which, like I said, Ron Harper really didn't have to make that statement, but he did. And so, but Shannon Sharpe is like twisting the argument.
Tough, bro. That's tough.
We've seen a lot of guys that dad was okay, and then the kids been superhuman. We've seen dads that been super great, and the kids were okay.
Yeah.
And that's okay. You think God finna bless you? He finna give you, in other words, he's about to give you LeBron, and then turn around and LeBron's son gonna be Jason Tatum. or Peyton Manning, or Tom Brady.
Right.
Or David, or Aaron Judge. Come on, people.
Mm-mm.
Damn. Yeah.
Why? They ask him, did you think your son, LeBron on your mind? They ask you about your kids, and do you take it to LeBron?
He was holding that one. He was holding that one.
Yes.
He been.
And I agree. I with Joe Jackson, just saying like he was holding that comment, right? So why would Ron Harper hold that comment? I just think that these old school basketball players and old school fans just love and respect the game so much that they just think that LeBron James is he kind of cheated the system. He's cheating the game when you have your son playing in the league and your son's not qualified. Remember, Michael Jordan had two sons, and people are saying that Michael Jordan's sons are better than Bronny and Bryce. I forgot his son's name, but they play college basketball. One at Illinois and the other one at UFC. Then I think the one from Illinois transferred to UFC. And so they wound up playing together, I think, for a year, at least a year in college. But Mike knew his kids wasn't qualified. So I think that's where some of the resentment come in. You have kids who are really qualified to be in the league, and you want a legitimate, you want people to get a legitimate opportunity, not get favoritism. But LeBron James is the face of the league, so his son got favoritism. And that's something that his son, LeBron and his son will have to deal with, like the backlash of him getting that favoritism when a lot of people think that Bronny was not qualified. But I think that's where the resentment comes from. You have guys who know what it takes and like how slim the odds are to getting in the NBA and sticking in the NBA. Ron Harper had one son that plays for the Celtics. That's Ron Harper Jr., right? And it's not a guarantee. He's been in the league for 4 years, but it's not a guarantee that he was going to stick because he had to work at it. Now the younger son, Dylan, is he's really good. He's better than his older brother, but it's a work in progress for anybody going to the NBA because unless you are somebody like LeBron James, your job is really not guaranteed.
No, he been holding out. He been holding out. Yeah.
I mean, somebody ask you. So, somebody ask Ocho. Hey, Ocho, you thought your kids would play? Well, my kid ain't. He ain't like Jerry. Jerry, right? Jerry make his kid. Ain't nobody ask you about Jerry. They ask you about your kids.
Yeah.
Not somebody else's kids.
Right.
Oh Lord, have mercy. I just don't know why people. Did you see the reactions his kids had?
That's what I was going to say. You see how they put their head down?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think sometimes when parents say things, man, they kind of put kids on the spot and kind of embarrass kids, right? They may have had a conversation about LeBron and Bronny in private, but they never, you never know what your parents are going to say, publicly. And so they just held their head down. But like I said, these old school basketball players and these old school fans just love the game and respect the game so much that, you know, they just really can't appreciate the route that LeBron James took, you know, and really, you know, if the route that LeBron James took for his son to get there, or what he had, the strings he had to pull, that's for them to deal with. You know, he was able to pull it off. Now, who's to say if Ron Harper couldn't have his son skip the line, you know, would he have done it? He probably would have, you know. So, you know, it is what it is. I don't think it was necessary, and Ron Harper is taking a lot of flack for it, but you know, it is what it is. So, but that, you know, I just wanted to talk about like why old school fans and old school basketball players, you know, may have some resentment about it. So that's my take on it. Make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. Also, don't forget to leave a comment. And with that being said, man, I'm gonna check y'all out in the next video. Peace.